People usually imagine Rome's collapse as soldiers storming the walls, legions falling, or emperors being poisoned in their palaces. But an empire does not fall only from external forces. The real destruction always begins from within. And the strongest poison that dragged Rome into internal collapse was the money itself. Rome was the center of the world for centuries. It ruled with its power, order, and currency. That currency was called the denarius. When it was first minted in 211 BC, it was almost pure silver. It paid the legionaries' salaries, filled the merchants' coffers, and represented the trust of the people. The denarius was not just money. It was Rome's faith forged into metal. But keeping an empire standing is not easy. Roads, armies, palaces, conquests, all require gold and silver. As centuries passed, Rome's expenses exceeded its income, and emperors resorted to an old trick. They diluted the money. The silver inside the denarius decreased, but its appearance stayed the same. People held the same coin, but its true value silently faded away. In Augustus's time, a denarius was 95% pure silver. By Caracalla's time, it fell to 50%. By the era of Gallienus, it had dropped below 5%. Now the coins were simply bronze coated with a thin layer of silver. The people felt the difference. Prices soared. Salaries became insufficient. Soldiers demanded more. Merchants said, "I don't want this money." Rome's economy sank into a silent panic. Between AD 235 and 284, it was a nightmare for Rome. Emperors followed one another. Some lasted months, some only days. Invasion, famine, plague, civil war. But beneath it all was a single truth: the money had lost its value. The state collected taxes in worthless coins. Farmers abandoned their land. The trade network collapsed. Rome was drowning in the crisis it had created. Finally, Diocletian stepped in. "Enough," he said. In AD 301, he issued the Edict on Maximum Prices. He set fixed prices for everything, from bread to wine, clothing to wages. Anyone who exceeded these limits would be punished by death. But the law could not save the worthless currency. The black market exploded, trade went underground, and once again people understood: you cannot save value with the words of the state. Eventually, Constantine introduced the solidus, a coin of pure gold carrying real value. It restored order, but only briefly, because by then it was too late. Rome's treasury might have been full, but the people's trust was empty, and an empire stands not on money, but on trust. Rome began to fall the day it lost that trust. Centuries passed, but the stage never changed, only the actors did. In Weimar Germany, people carried their wages in wheelbarrows. In Zimbabwe, a loaf of bread sold for trillions. In 1971, the US dollar severed its tie to gold. And today, the money in our pockets stands only by the word of the state. But that word weakens a little more each year. Without noticing, we are walking the same road, following Rome toward a silent collapse. Rome's fall did not happen in a moment. It happened slowly. When trust was exhausted, when money lost meaning, society began to dissolve. The barbarians at the gates only delivered the final blow. The real death came from within the treasury. History never repeats itself exactly, but it always punishes those who ignore the same mistakes. If this story gave you a new perspective, subscribe, because history contains the answers, and I'll show you where to find them.